be here today. And I just want to say, man, we had an amazing 24 hours. But first, listen, if you're new to the Smart Life Club, do me a favor, put your name down there. We want to meet you, know you, like you, trust you, and have some fun with you as well. And we also want to know if you have watched this after hours. So if you've watched this show, hashtag replay, put that in the bottom for me. Do me a favor and do that. If you're on YouTube, welcome to YouTube. And do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, that bell notification button. We go live every day, Monday through Friday. And we just have some fun. Everybody gets together. We talk about all kinds of things, and we share inspiration. We share motivation. We share insights. We share tips, and we help each other out. We network even on this show, and everybody that gets together and they have these, conversations for a day. We have Wednesday welcome guests. We just have a lot of fun. So today I want to say hello. I see you guys boarding on. Do me a favor and put your name down so I know who's here, and somebody give me a hello and see if we're, working on. I just want to say good morning to everybody right now. I'm going to just put my comments button up here so that I can see your names pop up as we go. So I had a very interesting yesterday, and I want to talk about it because it may happen more to you or someone else. But right now, the world is very distracted. The whole world is very distracted, and there's so many people online, and some of those people are just absolutely the most lovable people you want to see. They send songs and memes and things that are great. And then there's some bad actors out there, and the bad actors got me yesterday. They took down my entire system. They came in, shut me out of all of my groups, even my personal page, shut me out of Facebook completely. And hang on, hi from the SLC page. Thank you. Nice to see you. Thank you. It's nice to know that page is working well. So what is happening is, we broadcast off StreamYard. So we're on 5 venues at once, and it kind of goes around the world everywhere. Good morning, Robin. It's nice to see you on. It's nice to see the messaging get out there. Good morning. Good morning. Hi from the SLC group, from Karen. Nice. Thank you. We're checking our systems out right now to make sure everything is actually working well, because, it's like we got hit in the playground yesterday. They knocked us out of all of our systems. They knocked us out of everything. Good morning, Mr. Stern. I'll be talking about you today. So nice to see you. Glad you're back. Yes, I'm glad I'm back too. So what happens when you get knocked out of everything? I'm going to tell you, I think I'm a pretty level-headed person. And I think that when stuff happens, I tend to start thinking about what I can do to solve the problem. But yesterday when I was working, I had all my tabs up, just working away, having my tabs up. And I usually check Facebook, I don't know, once every 2 hours. It's how my team and I communicate with each other. And we use Messenger. So I went into the Messenger, answered a couple of questions, came out, and then I go check the Smart Life Club page, see what's up there, make a few likes and comments and loves, and then I'm back to the project I'm working on. It's how I work on that project. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you on. Hey, Suzanne, nice to see you guys on. So anyway, I'm working it, and I click the tab for Facebook, and it just closes down, and it says there's some suspicious activity on your account. And then it wanted a code and my phone number, and I gave it my code and phone number, and it locked me out. It didn't open it up for me. And so I was like, ooh, boy, when are you up against Goliath? The David comes out of you. That's right. It does, buddy. Thank you, Robert. It does. So anyway, I was looking at it, and I had clues that I was being attacked, but I didn't know they were clues. And I want to share these clues with you. Some of them are funny. Some of them are not funny. But there were sharing of clues that they're trying to repair right now. And if you've ever Googled my name, when you Google my name on Google, there's something called it's Acknowledge pad. And on the right, it'll have my pictures and all the books that I've written and stuff like that. And one day that was just gone. Well, I was like, wow, they took it down. That's so interesting. And Karen was, yeah, why did they take it down, etc. So something starts happening to your Google page or your Google thing. That's clue number one. Clue number two was that somebody was able to get into YouTube, and they put when you Google my name, YouTube videos come up. And so there's like several YouTube videos along the way, and they're on topics because I go live every day. I create content every day. So there's suddenly one with the face of John Candy on there. And John Candy is a fat dude. So right away, I know they're trolling me right now. And I'm like, hey, I got my first troll. And the picture's like, John Candy doing something with his face that was like, and my team and we laughed and we made jokes and we were looking at, and I thought, I wonder how this thought came in my mind, but I didn't follow up with it. And I thought, well, how on earth did they get a hold of that video and get that thumbnail of John Candy with that big face and it said the Coffee Break Show on it? And I was thinking to myself, how did they do that? And I didn't follow up with it. I was having a dinner party and there was people here, and I just, looked at it. And then I told Karen in the morning, hey, we got our first troll. And she was like, what? Because when you make enough content or you start building influence, you will get haters. You'll get haters that make snipey comments, and you'll get haters that'll put stuff up that is, troll-like and everything. I mean, you don't expect to get that from your friends. Sometimes you do, but they start making negative comments about what you're doing and things you do. And you get what they call them review bombs. So if your book is starting to climb the ladder when you have a book out, they literally hire people to review bomb you so that they can keep another book up higher. Like if you're getting past this guy's number, if this guy wants to take you out, he'll hire some people to do a review bomb on your book. And once you get them, you're like, hey, they're noticing me. It's who they feel threatened by, feel threatened by, or how they want to take over your page. Just exited a Zoom meeting online. The chat comments were horrible. Yes, there is a lot of that. You'll find out that your friends, the friends that you love or think that are great, they'll they'll review bomb you and say, well, I'm just keeping it real. I'm just, there's no positivity in it. It's just like, they'll just continue doing it. When this starts happening, you're gathering momentum. You're gathering these things. So we were laughing about it. But what I didn't know about was that these were all clues that somebody had hacked your page or hacked your identity or hacked into your anything. So what I'm noticing is the hackers are really intent right now. Everybody's watching Facebook. Everybody is watching the coronavirus. Everybody's watching the news. Good morning, Jane, Tarzan and Jane. Nice to see you this morning, Miss Goodhart. Good morning. Thank you for the information. Thanks. So when you get to the point where the whole world is distracted, isn't that a time where the hackers are going to start being more active? So the first thing I did, the second I saw everything close off, is panic. My heart went up into my throat. And I was like, no, not now. No, just please, no, not now. Because you have to stop everything that you're doing. And right now I have 3 launches that are about to go. I've never done 3 launches at the same time in my life, ever. And so when I started the 3 launches, I have 3 fabulous business partners. And Karen and I, and Karen is one of my business partners, probably my senior business partner. And when we're working on all the projects all at once. And so we have so much on the table right now that I just didn't want to have to deal with this. But you know what? I got to tell you, I learned so much. So I panicked right away and I was like, no. And so then I was like, okay, I got to find out how to fix this. There's no other choice. You have to learn how to fix this. You got to find where the hack is. You got to see where they took the sneak attack. You got to close that up. It's kind of like when you're looking for mice in your house. You got mice. You have to look and find where those little bad boys came in. You got to plug it up. You got to put some mouse traps out. You got to get rid of the mice, full stop. So that's kind of how you have to think in your head. Where is this happening from? And so Robert said something I think is really important, because I know this. This is not the first time Vicki's been hacked. And he says hackers will never go away. There are times they will pray harder. Be diligent and watch over your online persona. It's really true. They're going to go harder. And this is the third time I've been hacked. And I want to let you know, we suffered a hack just a few weeks ago, and they got away with $32,000. Out of one of our accounts. And so you have to watch. You got to watch what's going on. You got to be diligent and right present with your online persona. So the hackers, we couldn't find where their first originated place was. So here's the thing. When you first get hacked, you have to figure out where you've been and what you've been doing. So for my top 5 uses, I use Amazon, right? And I use Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and StreamYard, because StreamYard is a beta test platform where I go live. These are the 5 things that I need on a daily basis to work with, because we're working with it. Thank you. I'm so sorry, my friend. Thank you, Joni. I'm so glad you're here with me. Once you get those hacked and those things, you got to find out where it's coming from. And so if it was Facebook, everybody would have been down. There would have been more of a deliberate amount of size of people. So it was very specific to Vicki Helm. It was attacked on Vicki Helm's pages, on Google, on Facebook, on this. And what happened was, I learned yesterday, there's degrees of hacking. And Karen says, if you don't take action over here, they'll put another seed out. If you don't take action on this seed, they'll put another seed out until they lock you out. And I didn't take action on my Facebook thing being taken down. I was like, oh, it got taken down, because a lot of them are being taken down. People who are speaking about the coronavirus, people who are telling people to prepare, people with an opinion, people who are out there, they're just shutting down their pages. They're demonetizing people. They're doing these things. And I thought, okay, I've been talking about it, so maybe they just locked that out. But they didn't. And it's the John Candy video that I should have acted on. Like when I saw that there, I knew it was a play on my being chubby or whatever they wanted to make a call on, but I didn't do anything right there. I kept looking at it and I pushed the play button and it would go right to the coffee break show. So it was a thumbnail there. And so God, it was so funny. We laughed and I was like, well, at least it's an A-list actor. It's not some, ugly page or troll. And so what happened was, there are incidences right now where you need to pay attention to all of your persona and get that sneak attack done. Now, what saved my life? I want to tell you guys right now what got us safe. And it took us about 5 hours to fix it and figure it out. And it was a sudden stroke of genius. And I want to tell you why it took 5 hours. It wasn't because my team wasn't talented. It wasn't because my team wasn't rushing to do everything they could. It was because I couldn't slow down my fear. So I did some Ho'oponopono, and I don't know if you guys know what that is. But when I did the Ho'oponopono, I came down and I was like, apologizing to me for losing my center. And as I calmed down, I had to accept 3 things. One is I had to accept the possibility of losing everything. Number 2 is I had to accept the possibility of Facebook just booting me out forever. And number 3 was I had to accept that I'd been hacked. And I didn't want to accept it. I was angry. I didn't want to accept that happened. Ryan says, a friend of mine wrote a book called TechCon about stemming behaviors that lead to hacking. Thank you. I'm going to get that. If you could put a link there in that book, I would like to read that. Morning, Lachelle. Nice to see you on. So the more you become popular, the more you become an influencer, the more work you do, they have to hack somebody. They're going to try to hack the one who has content. That's just it. If there's no content to hack, then there you go. So what I had to do was accept these three things. If I could accept these three things, then my fear subsided. And I was like, okay, if I have to start all over from scratch, I will. Don't mess with me. I'll put another thing up and I'll start at zero and I'll grow it if that's what I have to do. And so once I accepted that, my brain came on, and there's a difference. And I want to be very clear. There's a difference between your Facebook app and your Facebook that you can log into. I have a desktop here and a laptop here and an iPad behind me and this phone here. The difference between all of these three devices and this is that this has 2FA security on it, which is 2FA is two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication. And that means if you can log in from here, and this is your 2FA factor, then you can log back into your account. And I was like, okay, let's try it out. So I went in here and I did the two-factor authentication because whoever hacked my account did not have that 2FA. 5 hours of not having my mind and trying to make workarounds and work everything and do everything else. If you do not have two-factor authentication for your devices, I would suggest you get it, because it is the one thing that separates you from whoever hacked you. The second that went on, a bunch of things have already been pulled off my account. I'm probably going to have to go get my knowledge panel put back up, but we'll figure that out later. But what happens is once you have the authenticator on your phone, that divided between me and the hackers, because the hackers don't have the 2FA account on their phone. That comes when you download your Facebook app. It's the difference between logging into Facebook and logging to Facebook using that app. So if you have a 2FA, if you have it on your bank accounts, because you can get two-factor authentication anywhere. In fact, if you haven't gone to YouTube and learned about cyberconthebook.com, thank you, man. I appreciate that, Ryan. If you have two-factor authentication, you're going to be safer with the future, because it is definitely, there's so many phishing scams or hacking things. And the trigger point has to be that you figure out what happened, because there's not a 1-800 cyber helpline, and, figure out the attack. And if they attack you once and they get a hold of your data, or they get a hold of everything, they can pretty much shut that out. Well, they couldn't. I have 2FA accounts on everything. Everything's its own separate coding. So if you hacked into one, that's all you're getting. You're hacking into one. So I want to go over here a second and say hello to everybody. So let's see. Thank you, Robert. That was a real relief to see her name in Facebook again. It was. It's amazing how much you can learn when you have to. Yes. Karen and I, we pressed on Karen's on the East Coast. And, it was dark 30 at night, and she was still there hammering it out with us so we could go live today. Beware hackers, the Smart Life Club cannot be taken down. That's right. I mean, if you're on here and you did this to me, good morning. I have a big F word for you, and I'm saying it right now in my head. F you. Let's see. Joni, good morning. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so glad you're on. I love to see your name pop up. Maybe the third time is a charm. Yes, we have been hacked more than once, and we're very fortunate right now. We did it. Facebook, good morning. That's got to be Ryan. So true, Robert. It's beyond Facebook. Daily watch all of your SM accounts, bank accounts, and any trigger that your identity has been stolen from. I use LifeLock. It has been a godsend. Yes. I want to let you know that even on our credit cards and our corporate cards, we have a security system that we pay for we have a security lock. So we've been hacked before, and they've gotten into our bank accounts more than once. And so we put a security lock on our cards. If somebody steals our card, we have a daily minimum. You cannot charge over a certain amount of money before it dings our phone and asks for a code. And sometimes when we're like ordering plane tickets and stuff like that, we forget about the code thing and we're like, hey, but it will decline any sale that is over, any purchase over a certain amount of money that doesn't have a code for it that locks it. And to me, it's worth every single penny, because I've had my identity stolen, and I have to be super careful about my bank accounts and everything else. And I think, Karen, you are so right. You have to pay attention right now. Any identity thieving, it's probably going to go a little bit more as things start to collapse. There'll be hackers everywhere trying to do their deed because everybody will be not paying attention. We have experienced how hard it is to prove it's actually you. Yes. I want to talk about this. I had my ID stolen when I was 22, 23 years old. I came home from lunch from a class. It might have been 2021. Somebody broke the window, stole a purse. I had just come home from a job interview, and I had my Social Security card, everything in my little purse that was hidden. But when they broke in, they stole the purse. It had the 49 checks in it. And, I'm a little older, so it was before the internet. So they went over to the next state, assumed my ID. They had children in my name. They went to school. I've paid student loans for somebody else who assumed my identity. They went to Washington, became me, and I have been followed all my life with people going, hi, you have this bill at the hospital. It's $5,000. It's for your daughter. And I'm like, I don't have kids. I don't have a daughter. I have stepchildren, but I didn't give birth to anybody. And so it follows you. It's kind of a pain in the butt after a while. So Robin says, we've experienced how hard it's hard to prove that it is you. It's you. So two-factor authentication helps prove that it is you. That's why I like it. Ryan put the log for the cyberconthebook.com. So yeah, definitely want to go look at that right now. I have a Google alert set up with my name. Ooh, that's good. Karen has that too. I'm going to have to do that. 3 different ways. The company name. This way I get notified when something happens. Thank you. Listen, Suzanne says, having a moment of realizing you could lose everything is a gift from the divine. It gives you an opportunity to realize your truth. Are you going to stay a victim, or are you going to sit, regroup, learn, rechange, rise like never before? Interesting. This happened to you during this time when it's happening to so many, and it's happening to the entire world. Yeah, it is. I think that's the most important thing. It's like there is big distraction in the world, big distraction right now. And if you're not paying attention, which is why I really want to hit you. I mean, it's a big deal. We've been hacked the last 3 times. I've had 2 of my friends, my dear friends, be hacked as well. Big losses of money, and they make their losses of money make mine look like, only 32,000. Is that all you lost? Yeah, that's all we lost. I'm so thankful that it wasn't more. I'm so thankful, but you don't know. And that's it. You got to get up and start all over. You got to figure it out. You got to move. You can't let that stuff keep you down. Thank you for that, Suzanne. Karen, Robert, that is a wonderful tool. I'll use it. And it has been very helpful. I like the idea of using all possible names you could. I'll have to look at that. Karen, I think that's a good idea. We need to do that for our company and names and everything else, because that is a good idea, Robert. If you don't know what Robert is talking about when you use Google Alerts lets you know when somebody is looking up your name, looking up your company, looking up anything. Google Alerts has been a godsend for us. And Karen, we have to add those 2 other ones that Robert has. Thank you for that, Robert. That was a good tip. Hey, Joni, what's up? Oh, my girlfriend. It's always the victim that has to do the dirty work. Yes, it is. That's the sucky part. To clear up the mess the hackers create. However, that is why we are victorious. And I love that, victorious. Thank you. That's a good word. And why we will become even more successful. Yes. Yes, this is not the first time I got hacked. I cried. I was so upset. It was really bad. This time it only took 5 hours to figure it out. But the most important thing is that you have to literally come to center. You can't just be fearful all the time. It's like when it happens, let it run through you. It's just fear and do it anyway. But what I did do that really helped me was the Ho'oponopono. And the second that I did the Ho'oponopono is a system where you are, I learned it from Joe this weekend. I'm not an expert at it, but there's just 4 statements. It's, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And for that moment, I was saying it to myself. I took myself out of my center, so I didn't have access to any of my genius. I didn't have any access to any of my reason. I didn't have access to any of my, how to evaluate, because I was so overdone with emotion. So I just apologized from taking me out of center. And then I came back and I was able to solve the problem. It's like you have to be able to take care of you first there. So Robin, thanks for sharing. I'm not familiar with the practice. I'll check it out. Yes, I have Google Alerts, said Suzanne, and that's smart. Robert says, I occasionally come up with a pearl. Laugh out loud. You do. I want to talk about Robert in a second because his pearls have been really good today. Supportgoogle.com. There it is. Thank you for that link. Google Alert info is above. Good morning, Donnie. I love you. You can never lose your phone with Google Authenticator. You must make a hard copy of your QR code. Yes, thank you for that. Everything is becoming more and more complicated. Yes, it is. Ho'oponopono. No, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Yes, you guys look up Ho'oponopono. It's amazing. Hey, Ryan, I'm hopeful the blessings of this crisis is a shift to recognize the need to take care of spirit and emotions. More right brain, less material left brain. Yes. That's the whole thing. Your inner genius is not a knowledge base. Your inner genius is a spiritual base. And having access to that spiritual base is what calmed me down enough to think about the problem. Otherwise, I wouldn't be going live today. We'd have figured a workaround, but it would have been like, hi, through Zoom, through this, through another account. I would have been here, but it wouldn't have been the ease of using the tools that I use and am familiar with. But we'd have figured it out. Good morning, Marie France. I was thinking about you this morning. Like the video that you put out yesterday. It was really sweet. Take care of you first. Yes. Somehow you have to remember we are in a world that, and I really want to emphasize what Joni said. She's talking about it. You're always going to be the victim and you're always going to have to figure it out. You're the one who has to clear up the mess. You have to prove who you are, which is it's not easy. All our identities have been stolen umpteen times. And so proving that you are who you are, proving that you are the rightful owner of the identity you were given, that is a job that is always going to fall back on the victim. It's always that same kind of way. And I'm not sure, but I think Donnie has the best way of doing it. The authenticator, the QR codes, the original QR codes, make a hard copy of the QR code of anything you do. And I do that as well. It's like you can take a picture of that QR code and put it in a file that is protected. The other thing I learned is I have my entire company off grid. I don't have anything that anybody can hack into. You'd be very disappointed coming to my desktop. You'd be very disappointed coming to my laptop. I have everything so off grid that it just is going to be protected by having my life off grid. I do not have it on grid. The hard copies I actually have a hard copy of that. So let's see. I'm hopeful the blessings of the Christ from this crisis is a shift to recognize the need to take care of spirit and emotions. More right brain, less material left brain. Yes, that is a big one. Einstein said, this is from Ryan, the same level of thinking cannot fix the problem it created. And that is so true. The issue here is, I think sometimes the universe gives you stuff because the only way you can practice awareness is in the moment. You have to catch yourself being afraid. You have to catch yourself being happy. You have to catch and notice yourself. You have to witness what's happening in the moment with you, not with everyone else. It doesn't matter if you're defensive and all you can see is that the other person is defensive. Wow, you're really defensive. Wow, you're really this. If you can't see it in yourself, if you can't stop you, that's the issue. Because you have the only person you can change, the only person that you can help, the only person you can grow and develop is you. And the more that you do that out loud, authentically in front of everyone, the more you allow other people to go ahead and take care of themselves as well. And it gets to the point where right now it's a do-it-yourself, take care of yourself world. Everything is take care of yourself world, including your online persona. Let's see. Therefore, we need to step out of current mindset through meditation or centering. And that is a skill set, isn't it, Ryan? It's like whatever it is that's happening to you, if you get to the point where you're out of center, how do you get to center? How do you come back to center? Just like that. How many techniques do you have? I usually say, what are you telling yourself? What are you attached to? What outcome are you attached to? Anger happens because you have unmet attachments. And so if you start watching you, because that's the only person you can help, and you unhook all your brain pieces, you'll find that inside you in a quiet way, your soul has the answer of what to do. And if you can't listen to your soul, then you can't get an answer. If you can't quiet your mind down, the answer to what's happening, it was like, oh, the 2FA thing. And I want to be honest, it didn't happen right away for me. It took 5 hours. We went left and right. And at one point, I slammed my hands down. I was like, why is this happening to me? And that one question, why is this happening to me? Why not? And then I was like, here's an opportunity. You have to come back to center, Vicki. And remember, I don't bat 1,000, but I have a pretty high batting average. Eventually, soon, I will get there. And the second you can come back to center, the answer is there. If you're feeling angry and you think it's at someone, you're lying to yourself. You're angry because you are telling yourself something. You have an unmet need or an unmet attachment, and you have to go ahead in there and deal with that. And you'd be surprised when you deal with that expectation, that unmet expectation, you will calm down and answers will come. Answers will come to you from that sacred place. Donnie says, I make copies of everything I do, literally triple copy everything and have backup hard drives. Yes, that is the big deal right there. The biggest deal. Great assessment, Suzanne. Hacking in an enlightening part of your life. What do you fear? What is important? What is really not important? That's true. You get right to there. You get right to where you have to accept. Joni says, yes, so true. Thank you for the great reminders. Thank you. One of my go-to quotes. Love it, Ryan. So smart you are. A good practice today. Breathe. Thank you, Donnie. That's breathe. Thank you, my friend. I feel you. The best way out is always through. Robert Frost. Yes. In the words of Alanis Morissette, the only way out is through. The faster we're in, the better. Love that. So the answer is there. Good approach, good attitude. Yes. Thank you. Karen Sachs, always. Hi, Suzanne. Nice to see you, Susan. So that's what I have for you today. I got the great sneak attack and I was in the phase of, what just happened? Well, I want to tell you the first thing that happens is you have to keep you with you. You have to keep your mind from running off with your reason. Number two, you have to know how your systems work so that you can kind of bridge over an attack and be really mindful to keep things in place that will warn you of attack. If you see something different in your profiles or anything else you've done, that's the time to go ahead and take a look and take a really hard look at what's going on. Take a really hard look at it and say, what did I do? The third thing is you've got to calm yourself down. You have to have ways of managing you. You don't have to be perfect at it. You just have to do it. If you come to center and you listen inward, the answer to it will pop up. I promise you. You'll get an idea of who to call or what to do, what to look at. And when it happened, boom, it was all fixed. Hi, Robin. When it comes to tech backup, I am OCD because it is always changing, as I feel one cannot be complacent when it comes to tech. I agree with that, Donnie, so much. Keep your mind from running off with your reason. I felt you last night when it first happened. Thank you. I believe that, Donnie. You would. Robert Stern says sneak attack, but you pushed and went through it and took care of it. Yes, I'm going to switch gears now because I'm at the end of the show and I want to tell you something. Last night, and Robert, would you tell me, did you take that picture or did you find that picture? Because there was this amazing picture that Robert posted that I'd never seen. And it was of the hospital ship, the Comfort. The hospital ship, the Comfort, was coming into dock. It's the picture's in the Smart Life Club. You can see it. And the Statue of Liberty looks like she's on the stern of the boat and standing right there. And it made, when you look at it, it just, your hair stands up. It's so beautiful. And he said he found it, but added my own words. So anyway, it says the USS Comfort and the Liberty was on it. And it brought up a feeling of such incredible national pride during an emergency. And when I looked at it, I had tears well up in my eyes because it gave me the promise of American hope. And it gave me the promise of a feeling. I was like, I couldn't not share it. I remember just the first time I saw the picture, I was like, whoa. And I just looked at it and I was so excited to see it. So right away, I shared it. I just shared it. And Robert texted me back he instant messaged me. He said, I just put this up and it's got 350 shares of it. And so what's very important about this is this morning, I got an instant message from him. And that one picture went viral last night. It had 67,031 shares in 24 hours. 67,000 people looked at that photo and it went rampant all over the internet. That's the power of social media and what he does. But it's now at 77,000 shares, said Robert. But here's the thing. Robert pointed out a couple of things to me when he was writing yesterday. He said, you want to bring up engagement. And sometimes engagement is helping people feel an emotion. And I realized that this picture that he got welled up a moment of something else to focus on. We became united. What that one photo did was remind us that we aren't Democrats and Republicans, that we are the United States, that we are united in one, that we are all more powerful as we are united. And that one feeling of bringing that together needed to happen, in my opinion, in that realm. And that's the power of social media. That's the power of that kind of awareness of what you're doing when you make a meme or a picture, and that pride that came up in me. And I just felt so amazing that one moment. And I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I vote independent because I want to be united. And that one piece, the most important thing that you can get from this, and I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention to this. It went around to 77,000 people in 24 hours because we want to be united. because we want to be a whole country again. We don't want to be a country divided. That one symbol, that one thing that he put out there told us that we want to be the United States of America. That's the most beautiful way of expressing it, was to put it out in a picture that had no words on it. Wasn't, look at the boat come into the thing. He let you feel your feeling. He let you feel the feeling you had of having that picture. And the more it's shared, the more it goes out, and the more it will go viral, because it will. It says that we're proud of who we are as a United States. And I want to tell you something. I'm tired of being a political party. I want to be an American again. I want to be the United States. I don't want to be a political party anymore. I haven't for a long time. And I want to thank you, Robert Stern, for bringing that out, for bringing that picture there, for having the imagination, the forethought, and the power to change the world like you just did. And Robert, I want you to know that picture is a stone being thrown, and the rippling effect you will never, ever, ever get to know, because it's gone beyond 77,000 people. You'll never get to know how you change that consciousness there. That one instance is, hey, remember, we're in this together. And I want to thank you for that. And I want to leave the show with that in mind. I want you to have a really blessed day, because tomorrow is going to be a very, very powerful day. We have the incredible Dr. Joe Vitale on, and it's a blessing that on his busy schedule, he even fit me in a little bit. So tomorrow we are going to have an amazing coffee break show, and we're going to have an amazing, amazing welcome Wednesday guest. I want to let you know I love you all, and thank you for letting me share myself with you and being able to be with you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Mwah! Peace out.